quite a week we're having, isn't it? In the past few days, I've called a number of you, and the emotion I received from most of those calls was simple anxiety. Worried over politics, or exasperated with the quarantine, or fearful of fires far too close to home. So let's talk about worry this morning. A long time ago, when Jesus took a seat on a hillside, he said to the people gathered there, "Don't worry about your life." Amazing. Especially since the crowd who listened to him was so different from you and me. Most were desperately poor, only a few had homes or food for the day, and all were completely at the mercy of whatever disease or fire might sweep over them at a moment's notice. And yet he said to them, "Don't worry about your life." And he says it to you and me today. Yet it's still hard to believe Jesus' words and to put them in the context of healthy worry and uncertainty, all these things. So very briefly, let me offer some context here and some explanation. First, let's recognize that you and I have comforts and protections that our ancestors never dreamed of. Thermostats keep indoor temperatures comfy. Pantries have food that's guaranteed safe. We have infrastructure like hospitals, banks, roads, police, fire departments. In short, we have much less to worry about than our ancestors. That's why we can fool ourselves into believing that we are in control of our surroundings, of our lives. And so when quarantine hits or the doctor gives you the report or danger arises, you and I can feel vulnerable and anxious. And then we start to worry because we believe our lives have suddenly slipped out of our control. But that's a lie. It's an illusion. The real truth is that life, in the big picture, was never in our control. You and I have always been vulnerable. And so tragedy and danger, they show us not a new precarious situation that we've never known before, but they reveal rather our constant situation, what we knew all along, that we had never been in charge. In short, the reason you and I are anxious is often because we disbelieve or dislike what's always been true, that we are completely dependent on the supporting power of God. So when Jesus says, "Don't worry," he's really saying, don't believe the illusion that you are ever in control. God has always been holding you up more than you know. Realize that and realize how much he loves you. And so reject the anxiety that you feel that comes from ignoring or forgetting that God is in charge, not you or me. And let's just step back and notice, as we look back on our lives, hasn't God been doing a better job of taking care of you and me than any of us ever could? I hope that blesses you today. By the way, this Sunday we begin an all-church Bible study looking at words like these, the most confusing, difficult, challenging, misunderstood things that Jesus says. And each week we'll tackle one word, one message from Jesus. We'll unravel it, understand it, apply it. We're calling it, humorously so, we're calling it, "He Said What?" It's understanding Jesus' most alarming words. I hope you'll join me online at 10:10 a.m. this Sunday. 2020 has been a year to remind us how much you and I cannot control. Maybe that's the first important step to recognizing and inviting God to have control over all of our lives. God bless you today. Have a great day.